Welcome to September 22nd pre-meeting, and go around the room and see. I didn't hear anybody need anything off of an agenda, so we'll go into council reports. And Councilor Zadi and Nurmela are not attending at all tonight. So. Well, first let's let them do their.
I don't have any updates.
I do, but I'll save them for the podium just because they're mostly kudos. But I do want to remove 11B from the consent agenda, just so we can talk about it in a little more detail.
I'm going to ask for it to be continued October 8th, 13th, since we have two people gone.
I was going to ask for that too. Okay, thank you.
I went to the Westminster sponsored by the chamber lunch to organize time for business people. Very good workshop. I learned a lot about time management and priorities, so it was good. Then I went to the CASA 25th anniversary. It was a great event, great turnout. They raised over $200,000 to help children be advocates for abused or neglected children. Ones aren't going to school like they should. So that's what it's for, and it was great. And that's all I have. I do have some questions. Should I do that later?
If you have questions, go ahead.
Okay. So we have some citizens that have reached out about dead zones for cell service. I know that we got the one at Walmart. Is that functioning?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor. I'll have to I'll ask staff to give an update for you on cell coverage and the status of that one in particular.
Because it's Quail Crossing area. This gal works from home, so she's very angry because she can't get a cell service. And Huntington Trails has no service when you go up in there. So I don't know if it's working. We need more. And I know that the state has incentives for places that didn't have good coverage, so I don't know where that stands either. So if we come back with that, that'd be great. And I guess it was what they had was supposed to help offset the costs and incentives. So I don't know what the deal is there, but maybe we can find out. We got an email from Councilor Zadi about not enough power for the Erickson project. Do we know where that stands and if that was truthful?
I've asked staff to look into that, and I'll get something back to City Council on that question as well.
Because if they need 10 times the power, that's kind of a concern. Also, do we stock the lakes at our city with fish? Because we have people fishing like crazy at McKay Lake. And I don't see many fish out there anymore, so I was wondering if we do.
Another great question that staff will work on. Mr. Dorr did remind me that regarding the Erickson question, that during the testimony from the applicant, they did advise that they had worked with Excel and confirmed that there would be power.
They did, but is it true? That's what I want to know. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, we get a lot of sales jobs.
That will be a trickier question.
Yeah, yes. If it's 10 times more than what we've been asking for.
Yep.
Also, you talked about performance reviews with the employees. Can you tell us, last year we had a merit pay increase. How many percentage-wise got that, and how is that determined? I'd like to know that. Okay,
so I can also get back with council in an email as to how our system works. In a nutshell, there are two elements to employees' pay. So for exempt employees, there's a market allowance that's built into the budget, which is 1.2%. So that's exempt and also non-exempt employees. For exempt employees, there's an additional performance-based increase that's possible, up to an additional 1%. And that's based on their employee appraisals. Last year, there was a scale, depending on where you landed in your appraisals, you got a portion of that percentage. Okay. This year, it's a little bit simplified because the 1% is quite a small amount to split. And so really, it's a much simpler calculation this year based on performance. For our non-exempt employees, it's 1.2% cost of living for all employees. and they move up a series of steps. There are 5 steps in each pay band, and each step has a percentage increase associated with it. It's not related to cost of living at all. It's related to where they are in their progression through those 5 steps. If that makes sense.
Okay, good information. I'd like to know more. Thank you.
I will follow up with more
All right,
detail.
thank you.
Councilor Dumont?
I also was at the Casa dinner, always a good event. Had a full table, so that was good.
Yeah.
I just had one thing, though, I wanted to share with the group. I had my town hall on Wednesday, and I had a couple residents from Waverly Acres. And so their big thing, past the original approval was they had questions around, what can still be tweaked with the project. But their biggest thing was really emphasizing the needs at the park that so many people talked about. I told them that I know that you guys were looking at that, but it would be good to understand kind of as a follow-up on that, what opportunities we have, because I think that would build some goodwill with the community if we really address their concerns with that park.
I don't have anything further of what everybody's discussed, but would you all like to have the presentation on housing right now? And so we go into directly executive session after our meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, we can certainly do that. Our staff is ready to roll.
Welcome.
Lindsay, you want to introduce the team?
Sure, thanks,
Yep.
Jody. Mayor Pro Tem, and councilors, thank you for having us tonight. We're going to present about some housing updates, what we've been up to, and also some recommendations. Tonight, we have Stephanie Troller, our Economic Development Manager, and Vivio, I'm sorry.
Del Pizzo is fine.
Del Pizzo, thank you. Sorry, I don't speak. I don't speak Brazilian Portuguese, so, but is with us tonight, and she's our housing administrator, and she'll be doing the majority of the presentation, and I'll just hand it over to Stephanie.
I'm going to just pass it over for the sake of time. Thank you for letting us go a little earlier today. We're excited to have an early night as well. The opportunity to have an early night.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem is not here tonight. Council members, thank you so much for having us. Vivian Del Pizzo, Housing Administrator. We wanted to give you just a few updates on what we've been doing with housing, where we are at, and a few next steps. As we know, housing is hard. It's difficult. It's something that is challenging all over the state and the country right now. I feel like the team has been doing a lot. Over here, you can see some results from the 2023 Housing Needs Assessment. On the right column are actions that the staff has taken and this council has approved. On the left are still some opportunities that we're going to explore, including expanding some options for the missing middle, proposing some policy changes to develop more housing. This is what currently we have in our toolbox. So currently we receive home funds from the federal government. It's about $250,000 a year, and those are designated for affordable housing developments most of the time. CDBG funds are also, they come from HUD. They are federal funds. We usually get about $550,000 a year, and we use those for the rehab activities for homeowners and for multifamily homes. Year to date, we have rehabbed 12 homes of homeowners between Adams and Jefferson County, and 302 units with the LIFT program. Private activity bonds, we usually get an average of $7 million a year that is issued to developers or given to CHAFA for down payments. So it's not that we get the funds, right? We can be assigning those funds. We also have use of development assistance agreements where developers that are doing some affordable housing, or depending on the progress and if they need any gap funding or any incentives, we're able to create those. And we are part of Prop 123, and we are underway to surpass the goals of it. Prop 123 goals by 2026. We have to have 207 new units, I believe, or 217. Sorry, I have to double check on that. But we are in the process of adding 317 units, so approximately 100 to 87. There you go, thank you. Like, I knew there was a 7, but we are above that goal, which is really great. This graph here represents the housing continuum. So we really wanted to bring a perspective. You know, housing it's such a, like I said, it's not only complex, but it's a comprehensive picture of everybody that acts in housing within our community. So you can see that when we talk about folks that have zero income, which could be residents with developmental or physical disabilities, or folks that are on a very fixed income with Social Security, are usually between that 0 to 30% of the area median income. That's where PRL usually has, more of their work within housing, cold weather vouchers, supporting rents and things like that. So you see rental assistance there, the navigators. As we start moving up in that scale, you see that it changes more into preservation, aging in place, the middle income housing. It's very fluid. Our team works in the upstream approach. So our goal is to prevent folks from needing too much assistance or to becoming unhoused. And that's our focus as we look up all the way to market rate, housing ownership and rental. Is there anything you'd like me to add to this one?
No, you're good.
Okay. We are really working in regional housing. Last time I was here, we talked about the regional housing needs assessment and how housing really has a regional approach. So we did a peer community analysis just to show council what are the cities around us doing and where they are in each of some of these key components that we're bringing today. As you can see, everybody in the region is doing housing efforts just like us. How can staff meet the 2025 strategic priorities for housing? So we analyzed council strategic priorities for housing, and these are some key recommendations that we have in order to achieve them.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
So we recognize that there is a lot of really good objectives on the strategic plan. We also recognize that it's a very lean year for the budget. So majority of our recommendations that Vivi will get to in a little bit are we on the right path? Should we explore this? Is this, kind of where we are in this point in time? And I just wanted to recognize certainly where we are with the budget and where we hope to go.
Thank you. So there's 5 key recommendations here. Creating an expedited review process for projects that include at least 50% of affordable units. This is also part of Prop 123, and staff has already been advised to work on this. Exploring an ADU pilot program. Staff has made changes to the ADU ordinances, and how do we make sure that residents are able to build some of these. Inclusionary housing ordinance, which I'll talk a little bit more about all of these in a second. Creation of a housing specific fund, and exploring a down payment assistance program. So here are the programs with those 5 recommendations. Expediting the review process for affordable housing. The pros is being in compliance with Prop 123 and reducing the cost for affordable housing developers. As we know, they don't have a lot of overhead, so if we can make the process faster, it makes the process more viable. Some of the challenges would be a separate process for staff to review, but we have, connected with the planning team and the building team, and everybody's working together to make this process work. The creation of a housing fund would be a fund that goes directly to support housing development. It could potentially provide gap funding for these projects, support different housing programs that we are listing here today. Some of the challenges are obviously funding challenges. And one way that we could develop a housing fund is asking for market rate developers to either provide affordable units within their project or cash in lieu. So that cash in lieu could be given to the housing fund, and that for some developers that may not be too attractive. An ADU pilot program. Some of the pros is, creating more diversity of housing options, becoming an income stream for families, having family supports. You can build an EDU to have an older parent age in place in your home, or you can build an EDU. There are cases of teachers that build one that they rent out to entry-level teachers at a lower rate. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Some of the cons, again, funding, and difficulty finding contracts to build these units. Down payment assistance program, creating more opportunities for home ownership. As we talk about, the missing middle is giving more access for renters to become homeowners. Some of the challenges are funding challenges. Program monitoring is very complex, so we would definitely need an outside partner to manage this. And within those key recommendations, there is a policy recommendation, which is inclusionary housing ordinance. Some of the pros would be having a guide for developers when they come to the city. If we have listed, templates of those developmental agreements with incentives, a sliding scale of incentives of, if you provide us this many units at a percentage of AMI, we can provide you certain incentives, having designated affordability periods for them. Developers really appreciate when they know what to expect, so they can come to the city already knowing what we are able to give them. Some of the cons, it's making sure that what's adopted doesn't get in the way of projects, right? Some developers might not like that we have something set. Affordability periods, if we designate them that are too long, they could stall other developments as well. It could be that it doesn't make a huge impact when we talk about market rate, having some affordable units within. Since we are so built out, we don't have a lot of land left. And some developers may choose some cities that don't have an ordinance in place, but as you saw in my comparison, most of the cities around us do have some guidance or ordinance or adopted in their code. This is the end of my presentation, so we would love to, hear from council if you would like to receive a presentation on these key initiatives and if you would like us to continue pursuing them.
Councilor Hutt?
Yeah. I definitely want to hear more about inclusionary housing, and I'm curious because so many, I think it was everybody except for Thornton has something like that. And so I'd be curious to see what theirs looks like, because I wouldn't want ours to be, more stringent or more difficult for developers. So I would want to make sure that it was similar or, so I'm definitely interested in that. And then as far as a down payment assistance program, I'm not sure where we would get the money for it, but if we could do something like that, I think that would be great. I mean, that's how I was able to get into my first home. I think it was CHAFA, and so we had to bring in so much money, and we had to pay it back,
Yes.
But it was a very low payment. And it was very manageable. And so that allowed us to get our first house. And so if that could help more people get into owning, I think that would be great. So I think I liked all of them, really. ADUs. If I've thought about turning my basement into an ADU. I just would need to, have access to the outside, I think that would be great, because that does add more housing, but sometimes more affordable housing, like what you were talking about. And then also, creation of a housing fund. If we could do something where it's either inclusionary housing or, they pay into something like that, I think that would be fantastic, because then we're not having to come up with the money for that, yes. But we're able as a city to benefit from that. So really, I don't think there's a single thing that you touched on that I wouldn't be interested in learning more about.
Councilor Carmelia?
Yes, thank you so much for bringing this to us. I'm in full support. Yeah.
Councilor Ireland?
I'm concerned about the land and the water and the power. with this Erickson project, which was way bigger than what was zoned, I'm not sure we have water for ADUs. I'm not sure what we have water for any of this or power. So I would like to know the 550,000 from
HUD for city.
HUD, what can that be used for?
That unfortunately is very limited on the use. HUD has very specific guidelines on what we can and cannot do with the funding. It also requires a lot of monitoring and a lot of requirements to be in compliance. So because that amount, it's a good amount of money, but it's not so much that depending on the project, we would cost more to make sure that we are in compliance with the federal regulations than to put something in place. So currently we're using to make sure that residents can age in place. So if a homeowner that, a senior now needs some bars, grab bars in their home, things like that, their roof has an issue, it's for safety reasons. So currently it's used for emergency and the safety reasons program, and then the LIFT program with the multifamilies. So then multifamilies can of affordable housing can continue to stay safe for the residents. Since
Well, can you use some of that like at the atrium that are not safe?
Go ahead.
Stephanie Trawler, Economic Development. So in order to use CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, you have to meet a national objective, which is serving low, moderate income, removal of blight, or there's some sort of emergency. Typically, if we don't like to use federal dollars in a private investment, what happens is if you federalize a property, then you have to comply with all of the Section 3, the Davis-Bacon, all of the HUDisms. And typically what we have learned is that the private developers don't have the capacity nor the desire to even get their, to even enter into those conversations. So if you use federal funds in a private propertize, you federalize that property.
Okay.
Which gets complicated.
Mm-hmm. Well, the landlord isn't doing his share of his job, I guess, so I don't know. Also, doesn't HUD have a first-time home buyer program that, they used to have one lower interest rate or?
There are a few down payment assistance programs. There's the CHAPA one, and HUD also has some. The reason of creating one with the city is that we could do the way that we would want to do. So we could really focus on the gaps that we currently have and put those requirements in place. Where some of the other ones, it might be a little challenging to qualify, or they might have to match the funds. We are definitely, for all of these actions, I just want to say that we're definitely exploring and if there are any grants out there, trying to really be creative to see if this is a program that we would like to see, how would we be able to fund it? So the main reason would be for us to have control of that program and really help our residents become.
And not have the administrative burden that comes along with some of the federal regulations.
And
Yes.
I'm sorry, if I could pile on. Generally, I've heard from developers that taking the federal funds adds 10 to 12% to the cost of the project.
Okay.
Just because of all that. But I also want to share, Vivi mentioned grants. So we are actively, aggressively looking for grants to fund all of this. We're very cognizant of that. And one of those that we feel we're very close to, and I've got Mr. Bridger Tomlin is in the audience as well, our sustainability administrator. He is currently working on an application for a grant, which we will bring to you probably, hopefully in the next 2 months, next month or so. And that would fund a program for the ADUs, which would allow us to put together a pre-made toolkit. So you would have, here's 4 versions of an ADU. We try to be pretty diverse in that, like maybe it's a separate, maybe it's your basement, maybe it's a room or whatever that is for all of those things. And we would have templates that are pre-approved with our building office, with our planning, and you could just grab it off the shelf and it's gonna save people a ton of money, we hope.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Well, I would like us to study the water, the power and all of that,
Yes.
and the land. I mean, we can say, and what we could put that on, what size of lot,
Yes.
and we even have the water for any extra properties, and we don't know that.
Yeah, that's definitely what a program like this would do. It would make sure that, once these are developed, that all of that would be in place, that they would be in compliance, that they would be within what the city can provide, what's out there in our power and our water. It would provide checklists, so residents, when they would come to the building, they would know exactly, what kind of plans, what they need. Hopefully, if we do get the grant that we're working with Bridger, it would potentially provide grants for residents as well. That's within what we are hoping. So really try to get some of these developed.
Also, just as a reminder, staff is currently conducting an analysis of what our current developable land can support with multifamily. To your point, we want
sewer too. That was a big thing when I talked about the planning.
We want to make sure when we do come with recommendations, we're getting very granular with what we're talking about. So when we make recommendations, we have that additional data.
I just know that Legacy Ridge has been complaining to me. They've had 5 blackouts this year. And they're not just for an hour. They're like all day. So there's a power problem. And I don't think you all want to live with blackouts, water restrictions, all that stuff. At least I do not. I'm sure the residents do not either.
Councilor Dumont?
I had to some of these questions that were here, and I have to imagine whatever you're going to do is going to comply with the comprehensive plan, which dictates we're not allowed to build over water. And I'm interested in the inclusionary zoning. Specifically, that's something that I've brought up a couple times. I know the mayor brings it up. I mean, to have them mixed in either in multifamily or even in a development like Erickson, it would be nice to have some of those rules so that when we get to those hearings that we already have something in place, and then we're not asking those questions when we don't really have a say in it.
Yeah, I think Lindsay wants to take that one.
Thank
Director
you.
Kimball.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Dumont. Great point. And what we want to really emphasize is that we want to offer carrots, not sticks. So in all of the vast majority, I think only Denver, it's not a dictate. It's not that the only way you're going to build is by giving us 10% of the units mixed in. You also have an option to pay a fee in lieu, which is very good because some developers, that's just not their model. Some developers that's all we do is affordable housing and we do it well, and I do luxury really well, and they can both be in the same universe together and one developed but not mixed, but they're still in proximity, so there is a mixture. So we strongly would suggest that we pursue that method and not penalizing people, but just saying, hey, if we get it, if it's not in your business model, just like with PLD fees or anything like that, if you can't pay it, or if you don't have the land to donate, so in this case, if you can't construct the units, you can pay a fee in lieu, and then that goes into the trust where we can help developers who can bring affordable housing.
I like the flexibility, but I'll tell you, I've read a lot of studies in terms of when you put it all in one area, which I think we've gotten better about spreading it around, but historically I don't think we've been good about it. But specifically, I've heard a lot of studies around when you even say you have luxury product, if you have some affordable units and something like that where they build some smaller ones, and say you have a single mom who is around very successful people. There's studies that show that actually helps a lot of folks because they see, different part of life. And so I'm certainly have been in favor of that, since I've been involved in this, but I do like the flexibility too, as long as we're not, too lenient. Much like we do with the parks, we're very balanced, I think, in terms of when we take those fees. So, but otherwise, I appreciate the presentation.
I'm 100% with what you want to do, and with the inclusionary stuff. Getting to meet with all the Adams County mayors for breakfast usually, and the Jeffco folks for lunch. I've heard all of their wonderful stories that you can share, or they can share with us of how it all works, and it's the right way to go. So thanks.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Vivi.
We will see you on the dais. We have Welcome to tonight's meeting of September 22nd, 2025. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Westminster City Council meeting of September 22nd, 2025. We appreciate your attendance and would like to remind everyone that our meetings are governed by the rules of decorum, which are posted inside the chamber doors. These rules are in effect during all meetings, including breaks and transitions. To ensure a welcoming and respectful environment, we kindly ask everyone to adhere to the following expectations. No attendee shall disrupt the meeting. Threats and intimidation are strictly prohibited. Audible expressions of support or opposition for any speaker are not allowed. Signs and placards are prohibited inside the chamber. All attendees must remain seated in the designated seats and refrain from occupying aisles or blocking doorways. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding as we work together to maintain a productive and respectful meeting. If you are here to speak during public comment, please be sure to sign up in the lobby, and sign up closes at 7:15. Could we have roll call, please?
Councillor Carmelian. Present. Councillor Demott.
Present.
Councillor Azadi. Councillor Hott.
Present.
Mayor McNally.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela. And Councillor Ireland.
Here.
Do we have a motion? Councillor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make a motion that we excuse Councillor Azadi, who is out sick tonight, and Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela, who is attending a family event.
Councillor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Councillor Azadi and Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela tonight from this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That brings us to the minutes of September 8th. Councillor Demott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of September 8th, 2025 City Council meeting as presented.
Councillor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass the minutes of September 8th, 2025. Are there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to a very special time tonight. We have families and award winners tonight that have been with us for many years, and we want to recognize them. As we do, and we call your name, please bring any family members, friends, neighbors, whoever you brought with you. We want them recognized as well because they have supported you to be with us for all these years, and we want to say thank you to them too. So first up is Councillor Carmelia.
Let's grab this. Thank you. All the way down here. All right. All right, can Christine Pancos please come up and please bring all friends and family with you? Hello, come on up. How are you tonight? Oh, good, we got a lot of folks.
Squeeze in.
That's great, this is good. I love that little purple in your hair, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna hand some items to you so that I can read, because I didn't carry everything. So this is for you, which has a pen. And then this certificate is also for you. And then, would you like to go ahead and introduce your folks here?
Sure. Okay, this is my husband, Chris Pancos. We've been married 34 years. Veronica Smith works at the library with me. Amanda and Sean Prehensky, my son and daughter-in-law, my daughter Emily, and then my boss, Joel Cuthbertson, who works at the library.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for being here to support her. And, thank you. There we go. I'm gonna ruin it before we even get to the, we can hand it to someone to fix up. All right, Christine Pancoast was hired in 2003 in a non-benefited shelver at College Hill Library. 2 years later, she became a benefited library clerk and has since risen through the ranks of Westminster Public Library Circulation Department. First, as Circulation Associate at Irving Street Library, and for the last 10 years, she has been Library Supervisor in Circulation at College Hill.
Christine has seen a lot of changes in libraries over the years and is very proud of the crucial role she played in one change at Westminster Public Libraries. In 2018, she became aware that library fines put an extra burden on the patrons who need the library the most. I love this story already, often preventing them from using the library. Christine engaged in a dialogue with city staff and was able to show how eliminating fines could benefit everyone. In September 2019, Westminster Public Library eliminated fines for overdue library materials, and Christine feels this has been one of her greatest accomplishments at the city. Can we get a round of applause for that? Thank you so much. Christine enjoys spending time with her husband and adult children, especially when her son's band is playing at a local brewery and her daughter joins him. Her hobbies include reading, painting, and landscape photography. What's the band's name so I can find it?
The Pine Box Sleepers.
I did. I'll find you eventually. All right, fantastic. So, anything else? Oh. Sorry about that. Oh, man.
All right, while we're getting that sorted out, can I get 2 or 3 of you to move over to this side for the photo?
That's okay. Just have me. Thank you.
All right, put everyone together. Yep, everyone squeezed in. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Robert D. Herrera.
Half the audience is coming up.
Well, that's good. I heard that there was a little surprise here for you.
No idea.
And that there was a little sweat on your forehead. Come on in.
My wife invited everybody. So if I introduce everybody, we're going to be here all night.
Is there a Dairy Queen or something afterwards? Good idea, yeah. All right, let you introduce everybody.
So I have my beautiful wife, Sarah, my daughter, Brooklyn, my dad, Isaac, my other gorgeous daughter, Olivia, my little cousin, Araya, my Aunt Bernadette, my mother and father-in-law, Ernest and Judith, my Uncle Mode, and then my friend, my mentor, and my brother in Christ, Dennis Kelly. Did I get everybody? Okay.
And this is your pin.
Ooh.
And the 25-year award winner always gets something special. And I am so glad his wife brought so many people, because here's your $2,500 check.
Going to a Disney cruise.
Well, that sounds perfect. Robert D. Herrera joined the police department on August 28, 2000, beginning his career as a police officer. Over the years, he has taken on a variety of leadership and specialized roles, currently serving as a patrol supervisor on the day shift. He is also an experienced instructor in firearms, officer survival, and field training, and serves on the SWAT team. Outside of law enforcement, Robert is married with 3 children. He enjoys spending time outdoors, especially camping. He is a committed member of the Village Calvary Church, proudly serves as a deacon, and is currently studying biblical theology with the goal of earning a bachelor's degree and becoming ordained. And that's where we connect, because my 2 grandsons go there, and one is a pastor there, and the other one he mentors because he's a youngin'. Robert is a lifelong student of both life and leadership, continually seeking to grow and apply the knowledge he gains to every area of his personal, professional, and spiritual life. And it is a true honor to get to give you this honor tonight. And thank you for all you've done for us.
So we have a lot of people in this photo, which is a great problem to have. All right. Can I get a few maybe on the riser back? We'll do 1 extra row.
Anybody else who would like to join? Now's your chance. Now's your chance, yeah. Any friends and family? Can't believe her. I told you, half the audience. All right, guys. Whenever you're ready, I'll take your spot here.
Perfect, they're all ready.
All right, y'all, here we go. Everyone looking at me, ready, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Thank you. Keith Alvis. Come on in. How are you? This.
Thank you.
And as you see, be careful how you turn it.
Yes,
There's your pin.
Thank you.
And introduce who's here.
So this is my family. My mom, Ginny, my father, Jack, and my daughter, Tori. My son's in California. He couldn't make it, but yeah, I'm so glad that they can, not quite as big as the last group.
We had nice groups tonight. That always excites me because we want to say thanks for all that you've done to support. Keith Alvis has had the city of Westminster in his life for as long as he can remember. Back in 1977, his uncle Jerry Reuther became the Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Director and served until 1989. Around the same time, Keith's next-door neighbor was the water plant superintendent. With that much Westminster influence around him, it's no surprise that Keith started his own city career as a seasonal worker in the utilities division. The seasonal job carried him through high school and college. Wow, you did start early. And later turned into 3 years with Parks, Recreation, and Libraries. After college, where he majored in psychology, Keith planned to take a full-time job in utilities, just long enough to pay off some school bills, and work toward getting a position in his field of study. Instead, he stayed 24 years, earned multiple promotions, and gained experience leading teams that supported the applications used by the Public Works and Utilities Department. That path eventually led him to Information Technology Department. He moved into software engineer role and later became an enterprise applications supervisor. Today, he leads the software division team that supports enterprise applications across the country. And you can use your psychology with the rest of us that just go over our IT stuff. Outside of work, Keith is the proud dad of a 21-year-old daughter and a 24-year-old son. When he is not working or tinkering with computers, he can also usually be found hiking, backpacking, four-wheeling, or behind a camera. He is also a true pepperhead with a passion for all things spicy. Public service runs in the family. Keith's brother Kelly has been with the city 33 years and is currently a captain of the fire department. Together, the Alvis brothers bring a combined 68 years of dedicated public service to Westminster. Thank you so very much.
All squeezed together for one photo here. Ready, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
There's somebody here for the Constitution Week proclamation. You can join me up front. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us why you're here and what you do.
My name is Joyce Thomas, former mayor of Federal Heights, and the chairperson of Constitution Week for the Daughters of the American Revolution. I gave up that position, but that person couldn't be here tonight, so here I am again.
Do you want to tell us about your program a little bit?
Constitution Week is September 17th through the 23rd, celebrated every year. This year is the 238th year of celebration. Constitution Week is something that came out, and we want to promote it. We want people to understand the Constitution. We want you to know what's in there. And I also do 2 classrooms that I hand out pocket constitutions. And so I try to do what I can to get the public out there and get them aware and get them to read and study. It's not as important as the Bible, but maybe close.
So I appreciate that. So anybody who knows me knows the Constitution is a big deal to me. I have the preamble tattooed on my arm. This is what we're doing here today. The protections that our Constitution provide us is how we're able to assemble. This is super, super important, and it's super important the work that you do to educate people. Like I tell my kids, if you don't know your rights, then people can take them that easily from you. And in today's society, when we so often fight with each other and forget about our rights to say what we want, not so much to not be offended, I think it's very important for people to understand our Constitution. So I appreciate the work that you do. With that, whereas my privilege and where it is a privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities, and whereas every American shares in this legacy of liberty, we are all grateful for the courage, conviction, and sacrifice of those who have helped preserve and uphold the principles of free society. And whereas we remember the enduring importance of the Constitution, we also recognize the responsibility as citizens to respect and defend the values of our founding fathers and participate in the unfolding story of freedom. And whereas in celebration of signing of the Constitution and recognition of the Americans who strive to uphold the duties and responsibilities of citizenship, the Congress, by joint resolution of August 2nd, 1956, requested that the week of September 17th through 23rd each year be recognized as Constitution Week, with the Constitution Day being September 17th. Now, therefore, I, Nancy McNally, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week 2025, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Signed this day, 22nd of September 2025, Nancy McNally.
That way just a little bit, yeah. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Thank you.
Next up is proclamation for Fire Prevention Month.
All right, so we have our fire chief and some of our firefighters. Would you like to introduce yourself and your team?
Yes. Thank you. I'm Eric Burke. I'm the fire chief of the Westminster Fire Department. With me here tonight is our public information specialist, Emily Peak, our fire marshal, Jim Gagliano, and deputy chief, Bob Hose.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I would. Each October, the President of the United States designates 1 week as Fire Prevention Week. And the reason for that is to focus on the dangers of fire and the things that we can take as a community and as citizens to help prevent fires and to keep our communities safe. That 1 week designation aligns with the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which was a devastating fire. Over 17,000 buildings lost, an estimated 300 deaths, as well as a third of the population, approximately 100,000 people, were left homeless after that fire. Here at Westminster, we take the entire month of October to focus on the dangers of fire and the actions we can take as a community to keep our community safe. Before we close, I want to make sure that everyone knows that we have some flyers in the background of this room here where you can pick up some information on fire safety tips. This month is focusing on lithium battery safety, and we have a lot of tips there. And it has some information on the events that we will host this year, which are fire safety booths at our recreation centers as well as our libraries. We also have one at the Westie Fest, and we have a Station 4 open house on October 4th.
Thank you. All right, so whereas in 2024, the City of Westminster Fire Department responded to 17,425 emergency alarms, including 170 building fires, and the city had 1,857,764 in building and content loss due to structure fires, and whereas in 2024, the City of Westminster's had no citizens who died from fire, but had 2 citizens injured from fire, and whereas fire prevention should be of concern to every Westminster citizen, and whereas the City of Westminster Fire Department depends on joint commitment and effort involving all citizens as well as firefighters to promote fire safety, and whereas the Westminster Fire Department has established a public education program that works to educate citizens on the hazards of fire and life safety, and whereas the National 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme is Charge into Fire Safety, Lithium-Ion Batteries in Your Home. This statement effectively serves to remind us of all the importance of using, charging, and storing lithium-ion batteries safely to prevent fires during Fire Prevention Month and throughout the year. Now, therefore, I, Nancy McNally, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, do hereby proclaim the month of October as Fire Prevention Month in the City of Westminster, and urge all citizens to heed the important safety messages of Fire Prevention Month 2025 and to support the many public safety messages, activities, and efforts of the City of Westminster's Fire Department. Signed this 22nd day of September 2025.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
The public comment portion is an opportunity for the public to speak to City Council. Each participant will have up to 3 minutes. Public comment is not intended to be a back and forth discussion. The city clerk has informed me that we have received 1 email, and that has been attached to tonight's packet. City clerk, would you please call the first speaker?
The first speaker is William McCann.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and councilors. My name is William McCann. I'm a long-term resident of Westminster, living in Countryside. I'll be addressing my comments to Councilor Azali, which is not here, but in an online post, September 7th to September 11th, the day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, he wrote, "I do not celebrate the death of a racist." Words matter. As an elected representative of this community, what you say or write reflects on the office you hold, the people you serve, and those who support you. That is why this message was so troubling to me. The allegation that Charlie Kirk is a racist or was a racist is inaccurate. It is irresponsible and demonstrates a gross ignorance of what Charlie Kirk stood for. That allegation, particularly in the immediate aftermath of his assassination, not only misrepresents his views and maligns his good name, it also maligns the name of those who support him, like me. Such language does not bring people together. It drives them apart, and thus is unbecoming of someone in public office. Those words, nevertheless, are part of his legacy, a permanent record of who he was when he was entrusted with public responsibilities. We must all understand that political violence must be condemned without qualification. To lace a condemnation with name-calling or ad hominem attacks erodes the very foundation of our free society. Counselor, you had the opportunity to rise above politics, to show respect in a moment of tragedy, and to demonstrate compassion. Instead, you chose division. Charlie Kirk consistently argued against dividing Americans into racial categories, so I leave you with two quotes of Charlie Kirk. He said, "You will never be the best version of yourself if you allow other people to convince you that you can't be better because of the color of your skin, because of your sexual identity, because of the community you came from. You must resist these narratives at all costs if you truly want to be successful in America." He also said, "We want to organize a world that is based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe that it is destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on color of their skin. I think it is tribalistic, I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of this country." Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Lori Goldstein.
Welcome.
Hello, Council, Mayor Pro Tem is not here. All right, okay, you know my name is Lori Goldstein. You also probably know I'm the president of the Adams 12 Board of Education and a longtime resident of Westminster. So on August 27th, the Board of Education voted to put a mill levy override on the ballot. And since then, we've been busy spreading the word and trying to gain support of this very important mill levy override. Adams 12 spans 5 municipalities, and I'm sorry, but the other 4 gave us time on their agenda to talk to them about our mill levy override. They also are entertaining resolutions in support of this because good schools make good communities. So we're asking the voters for a $39.42 million override because the mill levy override money that we bring in is much less per pupil than our neighbors. Our need is to attract and retain quality teachers and staff and expand career technical education and continue to ensure safe and secure learning environments in all our schools. So our students deserve better, and we've had severe budget reductions. We cut $27 million last year, which was 150 positions. So here's the details of our MLO. $25 million of it will go to staff salaries, all staff. Another 9.2 will go to academic programming, where we can beef up our current technical education. We can extend our STEM focus outside of our STEM schools, and we can offer transition support for 5th and 8th grade. And we also will invest in safety and mental health. We will expand our safety and security staffing, our mental health support, and that will be about $1.4 million. And we'll also share $3.6 million with the 4 charter schools that we authorize. So how much is this going to cost the voters? It will be approximately $5 a month for every $100,000 of house. And the average impact for a $661,000 house, which is in Adams 12, will be a monthly cost of about $34. And it revenue will stay in the county, meaning we don't have to give it to the state. We keep it, and we get to do with it what we've said we were going to do. Bottom line here is it's time. We all know how the state and the feds are cutting our budget like crazy. Student success is very important, and the economic impact is important. And when your schools are good, your home values maintain, and it's the investment that matters. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I do have a sample resolution if you're interested.
Perfect. Would you give it to the city clerk?
The next speaker is Sherry Griffin.
Welcome.
Hello, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and staff. My name is Sherry Griffin. I'm here again to talk about the PUD zoning of Westminster Hills. More specifically, the bulk of the 440 acres east of what is called Westminster Hills Open Space, also known as Hudona or the Dog Park, also known as Colorado Hills PUD. I spoke about this on August 25th and brought up the unrelenting momentum by Jefferson County and Arvada regarding the construction of the Jefferson Parkway. I provided you with the original 1988 agenda for the purchase of Colorado Hills PUD, which considered possible future sale and development of the land as a major incentive for acquisition given this highway was in the works at the time. I also provided you with citations from the city's comprehensive plan mentioning the future Jefferson Parkway. Tonight in your packet is a copy of the April 14th, 2025 agenda memorandum that discusses the Woman Creek property. In the second to the last paragraph regarding the construction of the bridge over Indiana Street, it states that Jefferson County is working on an agreement with the Jefferson County Parkway Authority for an additional bridge that would be required to the west of Indiana Street should the Jefferson Parkway be constructed in the future. The point I was making on August 25th is that the Jefferson Parkway is not dead. Although there are no imminent or current intentions, plans, or discussions to build or develop that area, as the engagement team assures, with the construction of this highway, the developers will come. As I've said before, I am from Colorado. My mom was raised at 506 Juniper in North Boulder when it was considered the wrong side of the tracks. It was called 8th Avenue back then. My grandparents had a farm, raised cows, pigs, and chickens. There was an apple orchard and pasture land. The hayfield and barn lived across the street from the little house. When they married, my aunt and uncle bought a house at 801 Juniper with acreage. My cousins grew up there. When we were kids, we used to shuck the corn that they grew and eat all the peas before they made it into the bowl for dinner. We always had homemade ice cream and took turns cranking because all that cranking made our little hands tired. We tubed down Farmer's Ditch every summer. Without fail, the scent of willow shrubs growing along a creek or a ditch takes me back to this simpler time. Those days are long gone. The little house is long gone. My grandpa's hayfield, orchard, barn, all gone. So many places that you wouldn't have thought could be developed, long gone. It breaks my heart at the loss. It may not be today, but look around you at all the development and remember the places you may have cherished memories of. Now my colleague Deborah Austin will continue.
Thank you. The next speaker is Deborah Austin. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Deborah Austin, also a Colorado native, and although I've spent my entire adult life here in the metro area in Broomfield and now in Westminster, I grew up in a tiny town in northeastern Colorado. That's probably why it's so important to me to start my day walking my dogs at the dog park. As the sun comes up, I walk the roads that ranchers established to check on and feed their cattle. This reminds me of riding horses bareback on the quiet country roads that surrounded the corn and wheat fields near Julesburg, where I grew up. And while I walk, I do my gratitude reflection, which always begins with how grateful I am for my dogs and for the open space, where we can exercise, be fully present away from technology and the news, and treasure the vistas that stretch from Longs Peak to Pikes Peak. Our memo that Sherry distributed details that the PUD zoning of the dog park is inconsistent with the city's other open space recreation areas, including Hoos, Stanley Lake, and City Park. The PUD zoning is also inconsistent with the city's comprehensive plan. Our memo includes maps that demonstrate the inconsistencies. We explain that a zoning ordinance is a legally binding regulatory tool used to protect a parcel of land from development, while a comprehensive plan is an advisory document that provides a long-term vision that guides development. The Westminster Municipal Code Section 13117 establishes the regulatory framework that welcomes passive use at the dog park, but it does not provide the maximum legal protection for the land. To protect the land, a zoning designation of O1 open space, which is covered in the Municipal Code in Title 11, Chapter 4, is necessary. Our memo leaves you with a brief poem called Otherwise that reminds us all to be grateful for the things we are fortunate to have and to experience. This council can act to provide maximum legal protection for the east parcel of Westminster Hills open space, making it the most challenging for future city councils to develop that land. Hopefully, rezoning it to O1 open space now will prevent houses and commercial buildings from eliminating a city recreation asset and causing all of us to look back with regret and think it could have been otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Alan Madrill. Welcome.
Hello. I just was going to ask if I could get a point of contact at the city to learn how the land development deal was structured between the city of Westminster and Boulder Creek on the northwest corner of 128th and Huron, otherwise known as the Knolls, and ultimately the tax impact on the homeowners that will live there. So I'm just asking for a point of contact.
Thank you.
Yes, staff will follow up with you after public speaking to provide a contact for you.
The next speaker is Jerry Mumbab. Welcome.
Good evening, council members. You should have a sheet in front of you that I emailed or gave you a copy as well. You guys probably know who I am by now, Pastor Jerry Mayhew. I first spoke to you on July 28th and submitted my 78-page reform proposal on August 11th, beginning with Section 2, a hotel voucher program as most urgent step. That same day, I received an email from Ms. McNally saying the soonest it might be on the agenda would be by August 25th. Nearly a month later, I still haven't seen an agenda listing or a vote or any written consent. I did prepare a set of draft resolutions and sent it as well. And as you know, since then I was hospitalized with MRSA, which is a dangerous staph infection caused by lack of reliable hygiene access. I've completed 2 courses of antibiotics and recovered, but the risk is still ongoing. I've personally, on the streets, met at least 20 others who have contracted staph. I'm certain more residents, housed and unhoused, carry it without knowing. It's no longer just a housing problem, it's a public health hazard for Westminster and possibly other areas. Weekly hotel access cuts infection rates by more than half. And that's why it's so important to really consider what I'm saying here. 2 weeks ago, I was too sick to attend and missed my navigation appointment as a result to attend the meeting here. I'm rescheduled for my intake tomorrow at 4 p.m. and I'll follow through with that. I also want to share some good news. Aside from high school graduates and other people, being a physicist and software engineer and chairman and CEO of 27 years, I was recently hired by Qdoba, the same restaurant manager, Taylor, who showed compassion when I was hungry and made sure I got fed, as I shared with you in July, if you recall. That act of kindness sustained me then and has now helped me to take a step forward to stability by having a job, which is very difficult to get when you're homeless, son. There's no pride or ego in any job. You know, whether you're running a company or working for Qdoba, no matter what your background is, honest day's work for an honest day's pay. But opportunity does not erase reality. I and many others remain outside, vulnerable, cold in the rain, and still waiting for the solution that I've presented to your hands in a large 78-page proposal. I know it's long, which is why I think we should focus on Section 2 at first. Since my hospital discharge, I've had to move my camp 5 times in 2 weeks while still being sick. That was nothing fun. That is not sustainable and certainly inhumane. July 28th was 7 weeks ago. That was a long time ago. The proposal is clear, cost-effective, and actionable. I know it's long, like I said, but please, I urge you, place Section 2 on the agenda, vote on it, and try to approve it before more people get sick. Thank you, and may the grace of God be with you and your families.
Thank you.
And the last speaker is Tom Lampo. Welcome.
Thank you. Right, hello Westminster. It's the first day of autumn, and it's good to be here. I'm Tom Lampo. I want to remind everyone there's a spiritual battle waging around us. It manifested itself in the natural, and that is what we witnessed 2 weeks ago. But no matter what happens, God is in control. I'm here to lift up Westminster to the Lord in prayer. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we come before you to give you praise, glory, and honor for everything you are. Your name is above all names, and there is none other like you. Your word is clear. Isaiah 44:6 states, "Thus says the Lord, the King of Israel and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, I am the last. Beside me, there is no God." Recognizing who you are, we come before you and ask you to be the God of Westminster. You're always welcome here with us. You spoke all things into existence. Hebrews 11:33 states, by faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible. A beautiful image of a characteristic of who you are. You spoke it and it was. So anything you speak today will come to pass. So we ask you to speak into our lives and make us the people you always planned us to be. You are a long-suffering God. Unfortunately, we overlook and take for granted this incredible attribute of you. Forgive us for our lack of understanding. Your long-suffering is evident in today's society. Psalm 86:15 states, "But you, O Lord, are a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in mercy and truth." We cannot comprehend the compassion you have for us. The choices we've made in our lives have derailed us from your perfect will. But you are patient, you forgive us, and gently guide us back to where we should be. Help us to understand your long-suffering and extend that kindness to those around us. Father, we lift up to you all those members of Westminster who are seeking an elected position. It's important in our lives to serve others, so it's important that we have individuals wanting to serve in this capacity. Our elected leaders desire for Westminster to be prosperous and successful. Psalm 127:1 states, "Unless the Lord builds the house, its builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain." Prosperity and success come from you. Be a part of our elections. Be with those that choose to serve. Grant a greater understanding to those that have a desire to serve others in this capacity. Place elected leaders in Westminster that will make Westminster prosperous and successful. You are our God, and we are your people. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Thank you, guys. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
That was our last speaker.
Thank you. That brings us to City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a brief report this evening. First, thank you to all of our public speakers who provided comment tonight. City Council and staff do listen, and Mr. Dorr is on his way to get your contact information, sir, and we'll have staff follow up with you with your request. Next slide, please. By way of update, this is a big week for the City of Westminster and the community we serve. Our drinking water facility groundbreaking ceremony is happening this Wednesday, September 24th, starting at 5 o'clock, running through till 6:30 p.m. That's at the drinking water facility location at 9988 Westminster Boulevard. So please know that that's a family-friendly event. It's open to the community, and that will be the generational project that will groundbreak this Wednesday. Under City Council's leadership, I'd point out that this city will be saving, it's actually over $100 million now on this drinking water facility by redirecting staff to right-size it for our community needs, and we're pleased to be offering this groundbreaking for our community this week. Attendees, also as an incentive, attendees will be, did we just lose the presentation, or is it just mine? There it is. Attendees will be entered into a raffle for some great prizes, including water-wise plants grown right in the city's greenhouse, as well as a potential for a $200 garden in the box gift card and other water incenting gifts. Next slide, please. This is also related to the raw water pipeline that will feed that drinking water facility with fresh water from Stanley Lake. Has been approved by City Council and is moving forward into the pre-construction phase. Last week, the city hosted a pre-construction open house for that project that will mainly run along 96th Avenue, and that's in front of Mandalay Middle School and Semper and Adams Elementary Schools. So those three local schools have been partners with our team preparing for this work, and thanks to their feedback and the broader community, the project team will concentrate the most disruptive construction during the summer break for that water line. Other activities extending past summer will be scheduled around their school events and their school pickup and drop-off times. So we're really working with the schools to minimize that impact. Engagement to date has included printed updates, neighborhood walks by staff through those neighborhoods, and as well as mailed postcards. For anyone who's interested in this project and wasn't able to attend the open house, you can get more information at westminsterdrinkingwaterfacility.com. Next slide, please. All right, another update. This is coming up, the Flashover Fire Camp hosted by our Westminster Fire Department. This will be the second annual Flashover Fire Camp, and that will run from September 27th to September 28th. This camp is designed to empower and encourage 16 to 20-year-old women to consider a career in fire and emergency services. Camp activities include a confidence maze, search and rescue drills, bunker gear drills, rappelling, fire hose deployment, and aerial ladder climbs. And this training was very popular last year. Those pictures were from that training, and we're anticipating another full slate of students at this year's event, and it's great timing. It precedes Fire Prevention Month, which is the month of October. Next slide, please. Tonight's agenda, I have 3 slides on tonight's agenda. We've had our 3 presentations. On consent agenda this evening, we have 7 items, including 1 second reading. And also under new business, there's a first reading of Councilor's Bill amending the 2025 budget to accept Dr. Coggs or the Denver Regional Council of Governments Building Performance Collaborative Grant. The other item of new business is a first reading of a Councilor's Bill to regulate the use of city-owned or operated property and amending section of the Westminster Municipal Code providing for enforcement of such regulations by Westminster Park Rangers. Next slide, please. Also under new business is execution of the Adams County Open Space Grant Agreement for the Municipal Court Park Project and the associated recommendations. Also first reading of Councilor's Bill to establish the City of Westminster's Noxious Weed Advisory Board, and that opens up federal funding opportunities for the city. The items of old business, first is a second reading of Councilor's Bill 29, and that's approving a development agreement with Volker Development. That's for the development of Lot 2 on Block C6 in downtown Westminster, and also a second reading of Councilor's Bill 31, and that's for the proposed retirement community at Westminster Boulevard and West 104th Avenue. Includes second reading of Councilor's Bill 32 to rezone that Hahn Hewitt property to a planned unit development, as well as a consideration of a preliminary development plan. Next slide, please. The last item of old business will be second reading of Councilor's Bill 33 that provides providing a supplemental fund appropriation from the Utility Capital Reserve to the Utility Water Fund for that raw water pipeline project, and that project is on schedule and under budget, so that is a planned transfer of funds. Under the post-meeting study session, point out that we did do this first item, which is housing updates and recommendations in pre-meeting, so there will be no post-meeting public presentation, and in fact, after this meeting this evening, Council will be holding 2 executive sessions. Instead, the first executive session is the discussion of a personnel matter, which is the annual review for the city attorney, and followed by an executive session discussing a personnel matter, which is contract and market salary updates for the council's contract employees. Next slide, please. For this week and next week, Tuesday, September 3rd is, so that's the 23rd, tomorrow, Planning Commission meeting. That's here at City Hall at 7 o'clock p.m. On Wednesday, I've mentioned the drinking water facility groundbreaking, again on Westminster Boulevard at the location of the new facility. That starts at 5 o'clock. We also have that evening an environmental advisory board meeting that begins at City Hall. It's also hybrid from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. So anyone interested can actually go to both of those, drinking water facility groundbreaking and the EAB meeting. On Friday, September 26th is the continuation of the downtown activation led by our Chamber of Commerce, and that's Summer Sounds. Chris Thompson and Coral Creek will be performing in downtown Westminster from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. On Sunday, September 28th, a continuation of activities downtown, yoga on the plaza, and that will be running from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. downtown. Next week, Monday, September 29th, there is no City Council meeting scheduled for September 29th. That is the 5th Monday, and we do not have regular scheduled meetings of council on the 2 5th Mondays each year that we have, and this one is coming up on the 29th. On Tuesday, September 30th, the Westminster Chamber of Commerce is hosting its City Council Candidate Forum right here in City Hall, and that's from 6 p.m. running through till 9 p.m. So again, that is all City Council candidates are welcome here at City Hall on Tuesday, September 30th, and that will be hosted by our Chamber of Commerce, and that is our Candidate Forum. Next slide, please. So again, just to reiterate, for those tracking, City Council will not be in session on next Monday, September 29th, so there will be no meeting here of City Council. Next slide, please. And finally, contacting us is easy. You can get us directly at Access Westminster, so that's westminsterco.gov/Access Westminster. If you have a mobile device, I encourage you to get the mobile phone app. It's very convenient and works great. It's GIS linked. You can phone City Hall during business hours, 303-658-2400, and visit our website, which we are continually updating and improving, and that's at westminsterco.gov. And we do have 4 social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, and Nextdoor. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions for City Manager? Councilor Carmelia?
Do we know if that summer activation series, if this is the last weekend for that?
Councilor Carmelia, we don't have the direct information at hand. Don't believe it is, but we'll follow up and get that back to you.
No rush. I can always check the chamber site. I just figured I'd help really promote it if it is. But either way, everybody should get out this weekend to enjoy it downtown.
Seeing no other questions, City Council comments? Councilor Dumont?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind folks that they can check out the 3H ballot initiative that we're doing. That's super important for the city and the safety of those that reside in it at the paramedicsandpavement.com website. And I wanted to share a little story, and don't know if you're going to be comfortable that I share this, but I'm going to anyhow. So the mayor and I were out putting signs up over the weekend, and it was one of those moments when you're out with somebody who's working very hard, and our mayor does very much a lot for the city. And there was a point in the evening when we were pretty much almost done, but point of exhaustion, and I noticed that one of us was bleeding. I think maybe both of us were bleeding, and I'm certain that not all the blood on me was mine. And I had a moment of thinking, what in the hell am I doing with my time? You know, and it's just one of those moments when you're exhausted and thinking, man, this is how I'm spending my Saturday night. But I want to share a story. The next morning I was at church, and I was reminded of why we do what we do. They were sharing about the tragedy and the loss of a young father in Charlie Kirk, that 2 kids will never know their dad. The students who were lost at Evergreen High School, and all the impacted folks. And they had a young man who has written a song, and I don't remember the name of the song. It was very good. I guess it's on YouTube. It's become quite viral. And after he shared his song that he wrote the night that he found out his brother was stuck in the school and he was out at lunch, he had the song come to him and he read it. And the minister of my church asked the student, you know, what is it that we can do for your community in Evergreen? And what he shared with the church was that he wanted his community back. For me, when I got involved in this, it was during the Jessica Ridgway tragedy, and it was a similar situation when I saw my neighbors locking themselves behind their doors, and I thought, we can't give our neighborhood to this kind of darkness. And it was just one of those moments where you're brought back, say 13 years ago, to a moment when you made a decision to do something for other people. You know, so why we do what we do is because some of us, it fulfills us to serve other people. For me, it's my faith in Christ and the charge to love others and serve others, and I feel that you're fulfilled when you serve others. It's times like this, you know, that we were reminded how fragile our lives are and how fragile this society is. And with that, I would ask that you to think about that and think about how you can serve other people. And that's really, that kind of light is what gets rid of that kind of darkness in our world. And I'd ask that you join me in a moment of silence for both the students and families impacted at Evergreen, as well as the family of Charlie Kirk. And thank you for allowing me to share.
Councillor Ireland?
Thank you, Councillor DeMont, for sharing. It's been a difficult couple of weeks for me anyway, but I want to say how grateful I am to live in this country and have the Constitution that we have. I've traveled somewhat in my life, and I realize how blessed we are. And I appreciate everyone that came out tonight and expressed their First Amendment rights to express how they're feeling and what they're upset about. So I appreciate that. And if you don't come out and speak, it's hard for us to know what you're caring about. So I appreciate you coming, and thank you very much.
Councillor Chameleon?
Thank you. Well, on a more uplifting note, I want to talk about some of the activities that happened last week. One is I had a meeting with the North Metro Arts Alliance, and I just want to share that they were so successful in having events throughout the city last year, and they had extensive events and better integration with our schools, and that this year they raised, I believe, the most ever. They raised almost $10,000 more than last year, and that's just due to the many events they did during Arts Week and the larger turnout that we've seen. And so I just want to congratulate them and let folks know that I think it's amazing that we're really pushing to get the arts throughout the city. And I think that only benefits the community and morale. And to let folks know that tickets are now available online for the North Metro Arts Alliance Gala, which is November 8th. And so please go out and purchase your tickets to support the community and support the arts in our city. I also want to give a big congratulations to our library staff and all the volunteers for the City of Westminster. They had the Rom-Con event last week, and it was fabulous. It was, the energy there was just, it was incredible. It was fun. The turnout was huge. The place was packed, and it was such a fantastic panel of authors they had up there. And this is an example of our staff that go above and beyond for our city, and I just really think it's incredible. And we have so many that do all of the time, but this was just a real unique moment, an event that I feel like was a pinnacle of the year. So if you missed it, I'm sorry. I hope we continue to do events like this because it really benefits the community. And I had a fabulous time being a volunteer for it. It was a lot of fun. I also attended the Downtown Business Association happy hour the other day, and so I just want to thank that community as well for their efforts in remaining engaged in our new downtown area as we build that up, and for pulling in our community and inviting us to be there to share that space with you, because that's exactly what we need to really activate our third spaces. I also want to talk about the Adams 12 mill levy override that was brought up tonight. If there is support here, I would like to ask our folks, well, first I want to pause. It sounds like they had asked to get that on the agenda, and so I'm kind of wondering why other cities were able to do that and why there might have been a struggle for us. So I'm going to pause there first to ask our city manager, why could we not get that on the agenda to discuss that?
Thank you for that question. Two things. There is an upcoming City Council agenda item to review and go through all potential resolutions that Council may or may not wish to support, and that is scheduled. And I think the clerk can tell us what date, or may soon be able to tell us what date we're looking at for that. And then I'll check with staff. I'm not sure, but I think the request came in fairly recently for that, and that our agendas were very, very full for City Council, and that we didn't have a study session that matched up. We had a regular council meeting, which is tonight. So we did encourage the speaker to come tonight to be timely and get in front of us before we address the resolution at that council meeting. I think that was the background on the request.
And I'll just say that's the reason why last week I asked, in whether it was pre or post, if we could look at Adams 12 for sure and our 3H, because at least we'd know those two are coming onto an agenda if we agreed, and then whatever else that our staff found was going to be up for election.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you both for that. In that case, I will leave my thoughts and comments for next week, so we'll be addressing it then. So thank you both so much.
That agenda item will be on next week's study session.
Fantastic. Thank you. And then another question, I think I ask this every time that they come up, but I'm going to go ahead and ask again. When can we expect to address the zoning for the Westminster Hills open space?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I will have staff get back to you. In the meantime, I know that our engagement team did send back a detailed response to the speaker present, and I'll get that sent to City Council, so you have the information as to where that request resides with respect to the current city policies and procedures around zoning. It's a great background document. Actually, it talks about the history as well as where it's at today, and the city attorney may have another comment that he'd like to provide.
Yeah, if I could, thank you, City Manager Andrews. Just for those interested, the Westminster Municipal Code at 11-3-2 mandates compliance with the comprehensive plan. So Westminster's not the same as other cities where they have advisory or non-binding comp plans. Ours is actually binding. So you can't use land in Westminster unless you are complying with the comp plan. So if there was any misunderstanding about that, about sort of the nature of zoning versus the comp plan, it'd be important to just point out that in Westminster there's mandatory compliance required. And I think that the comp plan designation for these parcels is open space and creek corridor. And so there's no development that's planned for them. And to the extent that there is an expired old approval out there, I don't think that entitles anyone to develop the land, and I don't think they could, even if they wanted to. The land is owned by the city, and it's designated as open space and creek corridor.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just reply to say, with all due respect, so thank you. We've heard that before, and that is my understanding. Because we've heard that before, at this point, the matter continues to arise and take our time. So what can we do to just get it taken care of and clear it off so that we have one straight record?
Well, I think that we can absolutely work with our partners in community services and bring forward an update if the zoning is a concern. I think we could prepare an ordinance for City Council's consideration that would take care of that.
I think that's a good idea, just to eliminate confusion at this time, just going forward so that we have a clean slate. And then as far as the gentleman who was speaking on the proposal for the unhoused programs that we have, I mean, we've been working extensively on several different initiatives for the unhoused at this time, and we're addressing some of them tonight. I looked at the proposal that was mentioned, and the proposal that I see says place Section 2 hotel voucher program on the agenda. I just want to ask and expand. I mean, as far as I understand, we already have a hotel voucher program. And so is there anything to the gentleman's concerns that we have not addressed or that we don't currently have? Is there any need? Because I want that gentleman and everyone in the city to know that I will do everything within my personal power that is within the purview of the city to help wherever we can help, especially for the unhoused. My own mother passed away on the streets, and if there's anything I can do about it, within my power, I will. However, I think that we already have a program like this in place, and so I just want to make sure we're addressing this.
Councillor, thank you for the question about the voucher program. Westminster does have a hotel voucher program in place. We're very unique in the Front Range in that respect, and we do run that program ourselves. I can get more details back to City Council on that program. It is very well subscribed. Our navigators use that program on a daily basis, really, in consultation with our homeless community and helping them get into transition housing. So I think Westminster is unique and very unique in the Front Range with that in that regard.
I would agree. And so to that gentleman, hopefully we can address your concerns because we have seen you week after week, but I do believe that we're doing everything we can at this time. With that, thank you. I just want to thank staff. You've been so responsive, and thank you for all you do.
See no one else, that
brings us to consent agenda, but first I have been asked for a quick break.
8A through 8G as presented.
Counselor Camellia?
I move to remove item 11B from the consent agenda.
That's not on the consent agenda.
I'm so sorry. I second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items 8A through 8G as presented. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Carmelia?
Yes.
Counselor DeMott?
Yes.
Counselor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
And Counselor Ireland?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
That brings us to new business. Let's see, Councilor's Bill number 34. Councilor DeMott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Council Bill number 34 on first reading to authorize the city manager's signature to accept the Denver Regional Council of Governments Building Performance Collaborative Grant Award and appropriate funding.
Councilor Hott.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Pass Councilor's Bill number 34. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Camellia?
I just want to say I'm really excited about this, and this is a lot of money for our city to work on our transportation, and this is fantastic, so let's go.
Roll call, please.
Counselor DeMott?
Yes.
Counselor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Counselor Ireland?
Yes.
And Counselor Carmelia?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
And for 11B, with 2 of our councilors out tonight, and I feel all 7 should be able to vote on 11B, I would move this to a date certain, October 13th, so all councilors can be present.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to move 11B to October 13th. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Camellia.
I have a few more specific asks for when it comes back to us on that date, which is right now. I guess these are suggestions to staff when it comes back. Is right now it looks like it's all city property that is concerned, and I suggest that we separate the medians and the byways from city property and facilities so that we can address those separately. And we also need an ordinance for those, but I think that they can be different than the actual facilities. And then I think I saw it in there, but I just want to make sure that there's a few guardrails in there concerning the management of the city manager's direction on this, especially around ensuring that it's rangers addressing situations in the future. While I understand that that is the direction we currently plan to take, is have rangers address these situations, I want to be sure that in the future that is the case as well. So I'm hoping that we can really put some language in there so that long term, no matter what city manager we have, that is the case, instead of, while I know that if there's any escalation, we will send and use officers, I just want to make sure that we make it clear that it will be rangers dealing with the situations.
Councilor DeMott?
I'm just wondering, since that's a change substantially of what was put in front of us, for one, you're the motion maker, so you'd have to accept that. But I'll go ahead and say I wouldn't accept it because it is as it is. And if we want to send it back, then we should vote it down when it gets voted on, and then they can change it.
Well, my question is, we have ordinances around the medians. We're very specific on the medians. Yeah. So.
Yes, Mayor, to the extent that you're asking about the median safety ordinance, there is one on the books, and that addresses the occupancy of medians in the roadways and whether or not it's safe to do so. So that is on the books, if that's the question.
Councilor Camellia?
Would this override that? Because I believe it's included.
I think the proposed ordinance as it's drafted is intended to sort of synchronize the current arrangement, which provides the Director of Parks, Rec, and Libraries with the authority to promulgate regulations for PRNL properties. The proposed ordinance that's moved to continue to the 13th is to allow for the city manager to promulgate regulations affecting city property. So to the extent, there's already an ordinance addressing the occupancy of medians, I don't know that the ordinance would preempt that, because council has spoken on that specific issue, which is to address whether or not it's safe to occupy medians. So I think, the proposed ordinance is intended to essentially clean up a situation where there's more detail on the books for the parks director than there is for the city manager. So I think that was sort of the intent behind the drafting.
I understand the intent, which thank you for that clarification. I just want to make sure that that is the case. So if that is not the case, let's make sure that it's nice and clear. But if that is the case, that it only pertains to facilities, then excellent. That's what I'm hoping for.
Councilor Ireland?
I agree it should be voted on what it's already written instead of rewriting it at this point.
Thanks. Did you have something else? Oh. I agree. I will only accept what is here for tonight to move it to the 13th. So you can either vote it up or down. Roll call, please.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
And Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
That brings us to item 11C. Councilor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. Move to authorize the city manager to execute the Adams County Open Space Grant Agreement for Municipal Court Park Project.
Councilor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve motion 1 of 11C. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
And Councillor Hott?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
Brings us to Councilor's Bill 36. Councilor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 36 on first reading, authorizing the supplemental appropriation of $1,400,000 for Adams County Open Space Grant and $1,900,000 from the 2023 Municipal Court Debt Interest Earnings and Carryover for a total authorization of $3,300,000 to the 2025 General Capital Improvement Fund for Replacement Municipal Courthouse Project.
Councilor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Pass Councilor's Bill number 36. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Carmelia?
I just want to say thank you to Adams County.
Roll call, please.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
And Mayor McNally?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
That brings us to motion 3 of 11C. Councilor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. Move to authorize an increase of $3,300,000 to the total authorized expenditure for FCI Constructors, Inc., increasing the total authorized amount of construction to $37,778,454 for the replacement municipal courthouse project.
Councilor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass item 11C, motion 3. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
And Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
That brings us to Councilor's Bill number 37. Councilor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 37 on first reading to establish a City of Westminster Noxious Weed Advisory Board.
Councilor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Pass Councilor's Bill number 37. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Carmelia?
I'll just say I think this is going to make a lot of residents really happy. So here we go.
Roll call, please.
Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
And Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
That brings us to old business. The second reading of Councilor's Bill number 29. Councilor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 29 on second reading to approve a development agreement with Volker Development, Inc. for Lot 2, Block C6 in downtown Westminster in substantially the same form as attached.
Councilor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 29. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Ireland?
I will be voting no on this, and the next two things on the agenda, I voted no the last meeting. The first one is because there's not enough parking. There's not even one place per parking per unit, and the others is the water treatment plant's too expensive and too small. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
No.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
And Councillor DeMott?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 4-1 vote.
That brings us to Councilor's Bill number 31. Counselor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Council Bill number 31 on second reading to approve the comprehensive plan amendments for approximately 74-acre parcel located east of Westminster Boulevard, southwest 104th Avenue, and west of Waverly Acres Plan Unit Development, and approximately 1.5-acre parcel located adjacent north of the Hahn Hewitt property and south of West 104th Avenue, and approximately 1.76-acre parcel located east of Westminster Boulevard and approximately 0.2 miles south of West 104th Avenue. This recommendation is based on the finding that the comprehensive plan amendments generally comply with criteria in the section 11-5-21 of the Westminster Municipal Code.
Counselor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 31. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Ireland?
I forgot to tell that I'm going to vote on no on this one because I don't think it fits with the surrounding neighborhood. I don't think there's enough water, and now we've heard that there may not be enough power, so we'll find that out. Thank you. I'll be on no.
Roll call, please.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Counselor Ireland?
No.
Counselor Carmelia?
Yes.
Counselor Demott?
Yes.
And Counselor Hott?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 4-1 vote.
That brings us to Councilor's Bill number 32. Counselor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. Move to pass Council Bill number 32 on second reading to approve the designation of zoning for approximately 74-acre portion of land located east of Westminster Boulevard and south of West 104th Avenue and west of Waverly Acres Plan Unit Development. This recommendation is based on the finding that the comprehensive plan amendment generally complies with the criteria in section 11-5-14 of the Westminster Municipal Code.
Counselor Hott?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 32. Is there any further discussion? I'll just remind people why I voted no last time, so roll call, please.
Counselor Ireland?
No.
Counselor Carmelia?
Yes.
Counselor Demott?
Yes.
Counselor Hott?
Yes.
And Mayor McNally?
No. That brings us to, oh, sorry.
Yeah. The motion fails on a 3-2 vote.
Charter Section 8.3 requires a majority of council to vote in favor of any ordinance changing the code. So I think the ordinance here, which would redesignate this parcel, would require at least 4 affirmative votes in order to pass. So a 3-2 vote would cause it to fail.
Councilor Demott? That brings us to Councilor's Bill 32. Councilor Demott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Council Bill number 33 on second reading, appropriating the transfer of $4 million from the Utility Capital Project Reserve account to the Utility Water Fund for construction and construction-related services related to the raw water line project serving the Westminster Boulevard drinking facility.
And sorry, it's Councilor's Bill 33. I was in the wrong spot. Councilor Hott.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 33. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Carmelia?
Yes.
Counselor Demott?
Yes.
Counselor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
And Counselor Ireland?
No.
The motion passes on a 4-1 vote.
Is there reason for executive session?
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's agenda includes 2 proposed executive sessions, the first of which is a personnel matter, the annual review for the city attorney pursuant to Westminster Municipal Code, Section 111.3C1 and Colorado Revised Statute 246402 4F1.
I will ask everybody to state your name and that you are willing to go into executive session and hold things confidential.
Claire Carmelia, yes.
Dave Demott, yes.
Nancy McNally, yes.
Amber Hott, yes.
Christine Ireland, yes.
And Mayor, there's a second executive session proposed on tonight's agenda, and that is for another discussion of personnel matter, but this time for contract and market salary updates for the council's contract employees, which is proposed pursuant to Westminster Municipal Code 111.3C1 and Colorado Revised Statute 246402 4F1.
Claire Carmelia, yes.
Dave Demott, yes.
Nancy McNally, yes.
Amber Hot, yes.
Christine Ireland, yes.
Anything else you need from us? It is 8:30, and we'll adjourn the regular meeting and head into executive session.